Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast, Life in the 21st Century. I had put, it's been a while. The last time I was on my podcast was November the 7th, and the title was Malpractice, and I was telling you all about my dentist and how he jacked my mouth up because he wasn't checking, doing my exams, my x-rays and everything with my mouth in about 3 years, come to find out. But so I spoke to my dentist about it. I spoke to him twice actually. I spoke to him about it, about how he messed my mouth up and what the periodontist had found that was wrong with my teeth, what was going on with my mouth and everything. And I told him I was going to get an estimate from my insurance company, and I had the estimate from the periodontist of how much it's going to cost, blah, 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 blah. So he said, okay. So I got all of that back, and I sent him emails. I was sending him emails also, and I got all of that back. And so then I went to him again, scheduled another appointment to go and talk to him. And he, he sat and he listened and everything else. And I told him how much it's going to cost. I showed him, I asked him, has he been getting my emails and everything else? He said he has, but he hasn't looked at all of them. So I showed him, I had my iPad with me, and I showed him the estimates, and I showed him the pictures again of my decayed tooth and everything else. And I told him I wasn't paying for this. You're going to pay for this. And I was explaining, and then I asked him, I said, I've been coming to you for 30 years, and you've been on it. You've been checking my teeth, x-rays, everything. You've been on it. And for the last 3 years, it seemed like you fell off, like you haven't been focused, or something has been distracting your mind or something, because I had requested my records, my dental records from his administrator, the receptionist, for going back to 2018, and I looked back in the last 3 years. I wasn't getting my teeth cleaned twice a year. The hygienist wasn't doing that twice a year. The hygienist wasn't even doing my examinations that she was supposed to have been doing. And then, like I told him when I was complaining to you about my gum, you didn't take an x-ray, he didn't examine it. Then I told him about in April, when I was telling you something's still going on with my gum or whatever. I thought maybe I had an abscess that I had some years ago, and I asked you to write me that prescription for that antibiotic that you wrote me years ago when I had that abscess, and you didn't check the tooth, you didn't do no x-ray, anything, you just wrote that prescription. And I told him about that too. So he was like, okay, let me look over everything, and then I'll get back with you. I said, now I got an appointment to go to the periodontist next Thursday, and she's gonna cut the bridge. She's gonna have to cut the bridge and pull that tooth out there. And he said, okay, she can cut the bridge and everything. I said, yes, you don't have to cut the bridge or whatever. She gonna do all of that. He was like, okay. So I didn't hear anything back from him. Didn't get an email, didn't hear anything. So the day came for my procedure. The day came for me to get my procedure. My procedure was at 8 o'clock. I had to go to the periodontist. So I went to his office 7:30. I talked to his receptionist, and I asked her for her last name. She didn't want to give me her last name, and I asked her for I asked her for the hygienist's last name. She didn't give me that either. I said, okay, that's fine, but you all gonna give it. You gonna give it to me, or you gonna give it to the board? Because I'm getting ready to go to the board, and I'm going on TV. She was like, well, Darlene, did you talk to him? Did you? I said I did, and I haven't heard anything back. I gave him the estimates, everything. He has everything. I haven't heard anything back. So I'm getting ready to go to the board. She was like, well, Darlene, wait a minute, try and work something out. She's like, and because I don't want you mentioning my name. I ain't doing anything. I was like, nobody said you did anything or whatever. But when I put my report in, I'm going to tell them who I have been talking to or whatever. So I left and I went down to my appointment at the periodontist dental office because my dentist is on the 5th floor and my periodontist is on the 4th floor. So I went and I told her, I said, you're going to have to pull that tooth because she's going to have to saw, because I have a bridge. So she's going to have to saw that bridge, pull that tooth, pull the two crowns that I have on there. And I told her I'll come back and get the bone augmentation and the implants later because I'm taking my dentist to the board and everything else, and I'm gonna let that, play out, whatever. So she said, okay. So then the receptionist, she said, darling, sit down, have a seat for a minute. So I sat down and I waited. So she went to the periodontist. Apparently the periodontist went upstairs to my dentist office, and she said something to him. 5 minutes later, she had came back downstairs, and her receptionist called me up to the front. She said, Darlene, your dentist is going to pay for everything. And I was like, what? She said, he said he's going to pay for everything. So now with the total bill with my insurance and everything else, my portion that I was going to have to pay was $6,500. So she said, he going to pay for everything. And I was like, I want it in writing. Put it in writing, because I don't want nothing coming back and nobody saying, well, he said this. And I was like, no, because this is not going to be on me. Put it in writing. So I went back. They said, okay. I went back to my periodontist. She did the surgery. She did everything, blah, 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 blah. So then afterwards, I asked her, I said, can you take a scope and look at all of my teeth? Look at all of my teeth in my mouth and make sure everything is good. So she said, okay. And she did. She found that on my bottom right, one of my tooth, I have a 10 centimeter gap where it's not decayed. It's something that I can't think of the name of, but it's like 10 centimeters in that tooth. I was like, she took an x-ray of it. I was like, what the heck is that? And I was like, don't tell me that. And so she looked at it and she said, that tooth does not have to be pulled. It doesn't have to be pulled. She said she can do a deep cleaning. She was saying she can do a laser cleaning, or she can cut the gum and do a deep cleaning. She said it's going to need a deep cleaning and everything else. And that tooth should be fine. I won't lose it. So I said, okay. So I told her, I said, send the exam that you did of all my teeth and that x-ray and everything up to my dentist's office, because he gonna pay for that too. So she said, okay, she will. So when I was leaving, I went up to the front desk and everything, and I signed the agreement that I had between me and the periodontist, and that the periodontist had told me that my dentist is paying for everything. And then I told her to also put in there that she did an exam of my teeth, and she found that I got a 10 centimeter thing in my lower, and that he paying for that too. And so they put in there that he agrees to pay for my bone augmentation, the implants, plus any other thing that she may find when she examines my teeth and everything. So, I signed it, everything, boom. So she's going to send everything up to him, and he's going to pay for that. So now that's going to be more money that he's going to have to pay. Oh, well. And I told him he's not going to do when I get my implants and everything else, he's not going to put on the crowns. And then I got to get I'm going to get a flipper, because my gum has to heal for like 4 or 5 months. So I'm going to get a flipper until then, cover up that gap. And, everything is going to be fine. And then I'm going to get, because I switched to a new dentist, and I'm going to get how much, I'm going to an estimate from her as far as how much she charged to put the crowns on. And I already got the estimate for the flipper. He paying for that too. So he said he's going to pay for everything. So now I got to get the estimates and stuff from the new dentist that I'm going to be going to. But I think it's sad that I've been going to this dentist for 30 years. And the last 3 years, it's the last 3 years. I don't know what's been going on with him or whatever. I asked him, I know he just got married 4 years ago, and this is his first marriage. He's 70 years old, and it's his first marriage. And I asked him, because he used to talk to me about his marriage when he first got married, and certain things that his wife didn't do or whatever. But I asked him, I said, this is not like you, and you haven't been focused lately. Is everything in your marriage? Is your marriage fine or whatever? And he was like, yes, my marriage is fine. Change the subject, whatever. And I was like, well, something's going on in the last 3 years, because you have not been examining my teeth and doing what you were supposed to do. Plus, you wrote me a prescription that, when I was telling you about this tooth ever since January, then I came back April, I told you this tooth is still bothering me, my gum is still bothering me, and I asked you, could you give me a prescription that you gave me some years back when I had an abscess, because I was thinking, I said, maybe I have an abscess, maybe I need the antibiotics that he gave me before when I had that abscess back in 21, and I told you didn't take an x-ray, you didn't look at the gum, you just wrote me that prescription. And the prescription did not work. I had to stop taking it because my gum was burning. That it didn't work. That wasn't what was wrong with my mouth, with my gum. But I just want to, tell you all, check your, I think it's sad that you have to go and check up on your dentist and on your even your medical doctor. But when I said I was going to the dental board, everybody panicked. Everybody got scared. And my family, because my sister's a doctor, and everybody was like, well, talk to him, and try and work something out with him. Don't go to the board. I was like, oh, I will. I'll talk to him and try and work something out with him. But if he don't pay, I'm going to the board, and I'm going to Channel 5 television station and put this on TV and see if that don't spark up his butt and get him to do what he's supposed to do. But he's paying for everything. I got it in writing, so I'm happy. So I'm just, check and make sure your doctors and your dentist is doing everything right that they're supposed to be doing, because I know another dentist got sued. He wasn't doing root canals the right way, and he messed up a couple of his patients' mouth, and they went to the board on him. He got suspended for 3 years, something like that. He got suspended. So when you go to the dental board or a medical board on a doctor or a dentist, that's serious. It really is. But everything worked out. I'm good. I'm going to have a nice smile again, hopefully in a few months. Well, when I get my flipper, I'll be cool. But just check up on your, you gotta check up on, you gotta be on it, and check up on your health or whatever, because it seems like people don't care about your health. You have to care about your own health, because it seems like some of these doctors, I guess they're humans too, and they have problems and things on their minds and family issues and everything else, and they may not be focused or whatever. So you got to be on it. So that's the end of this podcast. I will be talking to you all soon. Thank you for listening.